All right. Welcome everyone to our open mic event celebrating the 10th anniversary of 100,000 Poets for Change, organized by the North Florida Poetry Hub here in Jacksonville, Florida. For 10 years, 100,000 Poets for Change have seen poets and artists around the world bringing attention to political and social issues, topics of war, violation of human rights, racism, genocide, gender inequality, poverty, animal cruelty, political and social issues, environmental, human condition, oppression, exploitative practices, biases, and abuses of many kinds. 100,000 Poets for Change stands in solidarity with African Americans and Black Lives Matter movement in the United States, fighting individual and systemic oppression and racial injustice. This year, the concerns are also joined by the COVID-19 pandemic, the healthcare crisis, homelessness, police brutality, and relative topics that we hope to bring our words with the intent to focus on a positive narrative with insight and lessons in the hope of unfolding inspiration for positive change with our words. And may this night be a night for standing up and putting voice to what we've seen, and perhaps by doing so, affect a positive change for our future. And with that, welcome. Hi.
Sally Constein. My first poem is titled Persistence. She was warned, and yet she persisted. Not always political, but always uttered by a person in power. Bullying words, put down words, words meant to dismay, defeat, discourage, destroy. Sometimes spoken by domestic abusers, used against accusers, used as excuses. Pouncing on the spirit of the mostly women, what will we do with these withering warnings? Lower our heads? Be still? Calm down? Bury our thoughts and desires, our goals? Question our right to speak truth out loud. We could do that, but what about Susan B. Anthony and all those suffragettes who were warned and jailed and persisted? Harriet Tubman, racked by a blow to her head to stop seeking, and the lanky lad in a log cabin, self-taught, who walked miles to return a book, or the 7th grade girl in 1950s New York, who was counseled that being a lawyer was not a woman's career, or our ancestors from all those oppressive lands just yearning to breathe free. Had they not persisted, where would we be? My second poem is titled Perfect Timing. This evening, on a random ride, we spy peaceful protesters holding up picket signs along 4 corners on Racetrack Road. We are not racing, but my heart skips a few hopeful beats on this quiet street. Folks standing up, standing proud, quiet, not loud. Their placards promote the true American claims to fame: justice and fairness, kindness and peace. I am reminded of Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King. Leaning out the side window, I thank them with a wave. They welcome me to join them. I would if I could. The aches and pains of advancing age hold me back. but my spirit is young, and it soars in union with their sacred pleas.
Unmute.
Words, ideas, opinions in my head, but often they are left unsaid. If I speak, will the words be kind or projections from an angry mind? Sometimes it's best to hold my tongue. Cruel words like arrows hit their mark, deployed like missiles in the dark, damaging unsuspecting hearts, tearing relationships apart. Poison words, deployed with venom, crush the spirits they embed. Maybe silence is the wiser choice than victimizing with my voice. My other poem is entitled On the Other Side, quote, comma, parentheses, of these times. What will our world look like when we come out on the other side? Will it be a better place, transformed by our patient endurance and self-reflection? Will our words be kinder? Now a gentle reminder to truly focus on the other. With our minds and hearts more open, perhaps we'll hear what's left unspoken. Now more sensitive to each other's pain when we come out on the other side. Will we value what's important and recognize what's not? With hearts more tender and prejudices upended, will the kind deeds we render now extend to everyone? With our priorities clearer and loved ones held dearer, will we strive to engender positive change and work toward building a better world when we come out on the other side?
All right. Hi. So my name is Loretta Leto, and I wrote this for Ancient City Poets last year, the 100,000 Poets for Change. That's always my anniversary celebration of coming to the Ancient City Poets reading. And I live in Volcano Beach, and last year at this time, I don't know if you remember May Street, they were redoing that whole circular street, and the carousel used to be there, and they took the carousel down. And this poem came in my head, and it's dedicated to my Tampa Catholic High School class in 1976, because it was inspired by Joni Mitchell's song that we sang at our graduation ceremony. And we wound up having to sing it a cappella because the sound system broke. And it's from her song called The Circle Game. It was written in 1968, and it was inspired by Neil Young's song called Sugar Mountain, which he wrote when he turned 20, lamenting his teenage years. The song also inspired David Clayton Thomas of Blood, Sweat, and Tears to write the song Spinning Wheel. And it also now inspired my poem, which is how the circle game, inspiration plays the circle game. And just the refrain from the song is, and the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. So for anyone who knows me, I'm kind of fascinated with cycles. My Pam Jam poem's called Hydrologic Cycles. So this is called Carousel of Time. Change is not linear. It's cyclical, never ending, like infinity, eternity. birth, life, death, rebirth. Concentric circles of time, intersecting, expanding. Moments become minutes, minutes become hours, hours become days. Days become nights, moonrise to sunset, darkness becomes light. Seasons change from winter, spring, summer, fall, January to December. Years counted by a little blue ball spinning in space, rotating on its axis round a shining star called sun. Years become decades, decades become centuries, centuries become millennia. Beginnings end and ends begin again. What goes around comes around. Karma becomes that bitch who bites or that angel who anoints. The only constant being the purgatory of change. Yet the more things change, the more they stay the same. See 50 years ago, the 1960s, AKA the decade of change. But here we are, old, tired, tearful, still fighting the same battles in the streets, like when we were young, strong, hopeful for the future. We're captured on this carousel of time, always running, 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 trying to hop on, live better dreams, ride of your life atop pretty painted ponies, going up and down, round and round, till the magic wears off. Monotony makes you mad, dizzy, dumbfounded, depressed, and you just want the merry-go-round to stop. Then it did. Today, they took the iconic St. Augustine carousel away, made room for a roundabout, really a peanut, at the intersection of San Marco and May, where we're all going in circles to get somewhere. But was it a carousel or a merry-go-round? Did it turn clockwise or counterclockwise? Did the roundabout squeeze it out? Or did its owner die and will it away? Does it matter anymore now that it's gone? Wrote it once. Another check off the bucket list. Thank you.
Dill. I'm an artist, a poet, a survivor, and an ever-evolving woman and a voice for change. Throughout my life, art has been a healing and words transformative. Behind me, you'll see a painting, Resilience. I painted this as a kind of self-portrait for my first solo art gallery exhibition at Players by the Sea in February and March. But it has taken on a greater meaning since then and become an inspiration for my Resilience project, a collection of works across mediums, including the short poems I will be reading. But about this painting, Resilience interweaves messages of courage and love wrapped in the protective beauty of nature that I find centers the soul and calling upon all of us to act from that place of peace that is filled with love as we keep moving forward. I began by carving into the base layers of the paint. The first phrase along the bottom, I will not stand by in the presence of evil. Along the top, humanity. In the center, act. These are sacred mantras that have guided me through the traumas of my life, enabling me to become a driver of positive change and an influence within my community. The bright flora and fauna of our neighborhoods in Northeast Florida offers a punch of color. Throughout the piece, you will find hints of a sea breeze bending grasses on the dunes and gently fluttering through the leaves. There are wheels of change and a feeling of sweeping movement that comes with action. I included subtle hearts to ensure that all action flows from that place in our souls that is grounded in love. Resilience is me. Resilience is us. It is a gift and it is a challenge. It lights our path to the future. Next, I'd like to read a short haiku entitled Lotus. fall into my hands, souls gathering, respite found. Gaia whispers, rise. This next poem is called One More Breath. One more breath. Don't do this, the body cries. Don't do this to me. Don't defy, deny, decry. Cry, cry out for me. Be we, be. One more breath. Cried she, cried he, cried we, cried me, cried we, be. One more breath. This last poem is a short haiku I wrote. Panacea. Promise mother's womb, progeny capitulate, panaceas lie. Thank you.
Go.
Someone said, love conquers all, and I want to know when, 'cause people never stop to think about the things they do. Someone said that time heals all, but I don't think it's true. 'Cause time doesn't heal, the rain doesn't wash away, and the walls won't stop speaking. Said time doesn't heal me, the showers don't make me clean. I remember the things that you said. Someone said, love conquers all. I want to know when, 'cause you drank through my something so sacred in me. And I wish I could make it all go away somehow. Time doesn't heal me, the rain doesn't wash away, and the walls won't stop speaking. They said time doesn't heal me, the showers don't make me clean. I remember the things you did.
And that was Goliath Flores. And you must introduce your baby.
Okay. A ver, vamos a decir.
One of them. One of them.
This is my youngest one, Sochi.
Oh, with her blankie. Hi,
Yeah.
sweetie.
Hi, dile hi. She's
Oh.
so shy. She's so
What's her
shy.
name?
What's her name?
Sochi. Pero después, ¿cómo te llamas tú? Sochi. Xochi.
So
It's
she,
a Maya name, right?
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Thank you so much, Goliath.
You're welcome.
My name is Shada Crum. I have 3 short poems. The first 2 in response to the Black Lives Matter and all the wonderful things that are happening and Kamala Harris's nomination. So first, I was reading Zora Neale Thurston when I heard about the announcement about Kamala. So I thought I would share this poem. And she saw the word that had come from heaven, saw it sprung tight as light, shining from the faces of the supplicants, saw it burst from the mouths of the choir, saw it flame in the reverend's hands, saw it curl into a blessing for beginnings and the promise of everlastings. Yes, the people were ablaze, the voices of women praising, the eyes of men lifting, the hands of children opening. Oh yes, there was a word that soothed those heavy with living and choked the disbelievers, a word kindled with possibility and worn by each body like a badge from heaven. That word was rise, and the people rose. Okay, I've got another one. Let's see, and this one is called What You Were Born to Do, and this also is for the young people that are out there on the streets. The moment you were born, you knew to breathe deeply. You knew to raise your voice and clench your tiny fists and push out with your small feet. Later, you learned to control your breath, to modulate your voice, to slip hands and feet into whatever space felt comfortable. But I tell you now, breathe deeply against sour injustice. Raise your voice above placating quiet. Lift your fists and your feet. Push out against constriction. Rage. Use that beautiful body you were born with and the sensibilities you needed from the very first. You were born knowing how. Okay, and I've got one more. All of these are short. Okay. I am a woman. I am a woman, full-bodied, flavorful, oaky, not a ma'am with need for genteel distancing, a way not to be seen. And when you wait on me at the deli counter, I'm not a honey or a miss. Did you miss the gray hair? The way I hold a grandchild as my mother and grandmother did? Did you miss the hours I spent by my father's side as he died? And I'm certainly not a gal or a chick, unless you're a square dance caller. And really, how many square dance callers does one need in a lifetime? I'm no longer a babe or a girl, not since size 14 mom jeans and a triple D cup. What I am is a woman, a solid reckoning. Thanks, everybody.
Just when you think things can't get worse, you've come down with the coronavirus and can't get out of bed for weeks. You think the damn thing will never go away, and then it peaks and you are free to go back to your days before all this happened. Sit there staring at the always closed door. You shouldn't go out anymore. Waiting for your boredom to smash you to the floor. Thanks to a few libations and some iterations of anything you have hanging around the house, you finally jump up and start working in the yard because, let's face it, life inside is so freaking hard. Exhausted, concerned, tired before your time, you climb into bed a dehydrated lime. And then the sun comes up in your bedroom window and the rain becomes liquid sunshine. Just a touch, a tap of the earth, God's paintbrush, touching up the watercolor that is your yard. That's the first one. Second one is called Okay Boomer. The young kid says, don't tell me things will improve. I don't want to hear your pathetic platitudes. You don't know what it's like to be me. Download your bromides. You don't know what it's like to miss the swing of a future. Working for years and then you get cut like a suture at the end of a hopeless operation. Take your little cliches and drop them off at the railway station. You know, that place where you used to go when you wanted to travel. Because I can't go there, Boomer. Trains don't run no more, let alone on time. And all the planes are out of my range. So I sit in this town where there are no jobs and I'm just one of thousands of losers. Maybe if there weren't so many of you, there wouldn't be so many of me. The old woman nods. I understand. We have no way of seeing what the universe plans. We just have to go with it. But think of this. Survival is more than just making a list of all the things you have to do. Survival is endurance, pulling through, lasting in the face of doubt and saying, universe, when you screw me, screw you. It's preserving the environment and living the way you imagine your elders lived every day. It's holding on when things get tough and staying tough when things all blow and huddling in the fetal position, waiting for the hard times to go. Been there, baby, done that, didn't get the t-shirt. But that's okay, because I've lived to make it through another day. And then the last one is called Trace Homeless. You're getting fewer bills and your cursed corners hold fewer possessions. Corroded lawn chairs, empty baggies, no cigarettes, no sleeping mats. You've given it all away, traded them to make it through the day, and nothing is coming back. You think you'll find someplace else to stay, but nothing is on the horizon. Nothing is what it's all about when you've got no home and you're all alone because no one wants to be with you when you smell like death coming down the road. Coming down the road, the middle-aged lady with the light brown hair and the bags sounds great, singing a song about a night on some lake, taking us all away from the overheated cement, sidewalk dangling our only rent. She hands me coffee and a bag of food. Wants nothing in return. She's just being good. At first, we are all suspicious. What did she get out of this? Where did the money come from? How did she know that we'd show up right here, close enough to drag all those plastic bags and cardboard cup holders in her illustrious hands? And she was bolder than most who passed by, those who looked away when we asked for funds or looked guilty, select when we asked for help. She didn't act afraid, shying away from rape, robbery, or vandalism. She didn't look away from crazy, crying, or softly sighing non-talkers. She offered the coffee strongly, left the food fearlessly, asked for nothing in return. Oh, how we pray she will return each day. Boy, howdy, that lady makes us pray. Thank you, and again, my name is Wendy Thornton, and that last one is actually based on a woman who's just going around feeding homeless people, so it's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your name.
My name is Victoria Mullins. I'm a proud product of the Young Poets Mentoring Program run by the Creative Happiness Institute. And I'm also a proud teacher. I teach at a Title I school, which for me means 92% of my students fall below the poverty line. So this poem is inspired by them, it's for them, and it's called God Bless the Broken Houses. God bless the broken houses from the wrong side of the tracks, the ones with the brown grass, dirty shoes on the telephone wires. God bless the broken people with the worst hand in the deck, the last on the team, the first one out, always doing the right thing at just the wrong time. God bless the broken houses waiting for mother to come back, school uniforms sewn together with rope, fitted by a duct tape tailor. God bless the broken people that hear they can't do something and do it anyway, especially when the reasons they can't are statistically and logically sound. It's not biases and hate saying you'll never match up. It's the very laws of nature, the very structure of space and time. God bless the broken houses, tin roofs, and 4 cardboard walls, trying so hard to be homes. Thank you.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, my name is Chris Castle. That's Chris with a CH and Castle with a K. And this particular song I'm going to do for you right now, I first posted on my YouTube channel on the second month, second week, second day since the first diagnosed COVID case in the United States. And a friend of mine was most distraught because she's very much a hugger. And she said, what can I do? I can't do that anymore with anyone. So I wrote this song for my friend Joyce, and it's called A Little Hug. Sending you a little hug, sending you a great big smile, sending you a lot of love to make you happy for a while, sending you the morning sun, sending you a lovely day, sending you a lot of fun to make your worries go away. Though we may be far apart, we're still close, don't you see? These may not be the best of times, but we're still friends, you and me. Sending you a little hug, sending you a great big smile, sending you a lot of love to make you happy for a while, sending you the morning sun, sending you a lovely day, sending you a lot of fun to make your worries go away. We've had good times and bad, had laughs and sometimes tears, but we can pull together now through the darkness and the fears. Sending you a little hug, sending you a great big smile, sending you a lot of love to make you happy for a while, sending you the morning sun, sending you a lovely day, sending you a lot of fun to make your worries go away, make your worries go away.
Thank you, Chris.
Very cute, very.
So hi, my name is Shaunie Hall. In reading Luke chapter 12, verse 6, it says, are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies, yet not one of them is forgotten by God. It inspired me to write my poem titled, A Sparrow's Notice. Sparrows cannot fall without notice, but yet and still I cry. I cry because an unemployed single mother is too experienced, too old, too young, too uneducated, but they don't know that she has too many kids, too many responsibilities to accept no. I cry because a close friend who loved being a woman, who loved her own energy, who loved her long hair, who loved her breasts, just found out that she would be 1 in 8 who would begin her personal battle against breast cancer. I cry because young girls are left to be with monsters, left to defend themselves, left to be abused, left to be raped, then traumatized and bitter, left to become productive in a society that allows this to occur. I cry because a family man, a provider, lost his job, lost his faith, lost his family, lost his hope, then after all else, lost his life by his own hand. I cry because our precious little boys are expected to give up their toys, expected to be men with leaders with no familiar examples, expected to overcome years of oppression with no helping hand, expected to triumph over relentless denigration with no compassionate face. And yet we expect them to respect a society that does not do the same, that has turned its back. I cry because thousands of birds fall from the sky, millions of fish simply wash ashore, billions of people go hungry, and every day trillion of us simply turn our heads, close our eyes, and harden our hearts. I cry, but yet and still sparrows cannot fall without notice.
Wonderful.